This video is to explain how to use the comment and track changes function in Microsoft Word. If you are using a word processor other than Word, most of the time you're going to have a very similar function. For instance, in Pages or in OpenOffice, you can do very similar things. You can make margin comments and you can track changes. I don't know exactly how to do that in those word processing programs, but I know that they can do it. If you are using one of those programs and the person whose paper you're reading is using Word or vice versa, if you're using different programs from the person that you're making comments for, you may want to export your file as a PDF if possible, so that they can see the comments that you've made the way that you intended them to be seen. If that doesn't work, which it may not, depending on your program or your version, then the best thing to do is probably just to write comments in the comment function on the blog where they posted their paper. But for now, we're going to assume that everybody's using Microsoft Word, and I'm going to show you how to use these functions in Word. First, if you want to comment on something, you select the text that you want to comment on, and then in current versions of Word, you go to the Review tab and click on New Comment. Notice how this pulls up a balloon in the margin where I can write whatever I want. And I can make comments throughout the text this way. If you're using an older version of Word from prior to 2007, this same function is available, but it's in a different place. It's under the Insert menu, and then you go down to Insert Comment. This is pretty self-explanatory. The other thing that I'm going to show you how to do is how to track changes. In modern versions of Word, this is where you find that button. It's also on the Review tab, and it's something that you can turn on by clicking the button. You'll see that it turns orange to show you that Track Changes is now on. And once you've turned on Track Changes, anything you change in Word now shows up as having been changed in color. Something that you've deleted is still there, but it's now crossed out. Something that you've added is there in color and underlined. If you were to change the font or the typeface, turn this bold, for example, it puts a balloon here to tell you that that got changed to bold here. If you do something very small, like delete a space between sentences, for example, it will show you that space there with that tiny little red dash to show you that it's been deleted. That's hard to see, so the other thing it does is it puts this line in the margin, this vertical line, to show you that some change has been made on that line of the essay. So here you can see real quickly that these two lines have changes, this line has a change, and none of the other ones do. So if you're reading somebody else's changes, that can be helpful to find the small ones. These changes are things that we're not going to be doing a lot of in our workshopping. Mostly we're going to be leaving comments like this. And mostly we're going to be leaving the author to deal with their own text. But there are times when these track changes may be very useful, and when you actually might want to get into the author's text and make the changes yourself, particularly if you're dealing in some cases with grammatical issues, spelling issues, typos, punctuation issues, that type of thing. It can sometimes be much more efficient if you make some of those corrections yourself. If you receive a document in which somebody has made changes like this, here's how you deal with them. You go back to the Review tab, and you click on the drop-down arrow here, and it gives you, oh, sorry, it's not there. It's over here. The Accept and Reject, Previous and Next. If you click on Next, it'll take you to the next change that's been made in the document. And then you can accept it or reject it. If you accept it, you'll notice that the track change thing disappears and it turns into normal text. If you reject it, it reverts to whatever you had before, and the tracked change goes away. So you can go to the next one, the previous one, and accept or reject as you like. Don't forget to turn off track changes before you want to go back and edit your own paper. Otherwise, it'll turn out all weird and colored.